Well, hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and if you didn't know, the 10th of March 2021 or 2021 is Ridgway Day, and a special day for Canada, because on this day, the 10th of March, well, the 10th of March 2021 is Ridgway Day, which marks the birthday of Phyllis Ridgway. And if you didn't know, Phyllis Ridgway is the oldest living Canadian citizen. She's British Canadian because she originally came from Lincolnshire over in England in the United Kingdom. Obviously where I'm located, England in the United Kingdom, very much so. And proud to be British. Oh, I should not be boastful because there could be people from Canada watching. I should not be boastful about my nationality. All nationalities are as good as each other, and it's worthwhile making friends with any type of nationality or race, regardlessly. Right, now getting to the video, I'm dreadfully sorry. Yes, Phyllis Ridgway. Because if you didn't know, since the 17th of February 2020, Phyllis Ridgway became the oldest living person in Canada following the death of Sarah Petternord Briere, who died on the 17th of February 2020, aged 112, just 3 days shy of her 113th birthday. So she just missed her birthday by days. But very sadly caught a terrible case of pneumonia, and then she just died in a click of a finger after contracting a terrible case of pneumonia. Oh dear. Pneumonia is a dangerous illness to get if you're well over 100. Pneumonia. I mean, we did have a man who lived to be well over 100 in America, and he survived a pneumonia ordeal when he was 109. And yet again another one at in his 110s, because he was 112 too when he died. But following the death of Sarah Petternord Briere, Phyllis Ridgway succeeded her as the oldest person in Canada. And Phyllis Ridgway, if you didn't know, although originally from England, she's lived through World War I, Spanish flu pandemic, the Great Depression, World War II, many things in that. She's seen many things in her lifetime. Because if you didn't know, she was born on the 10th of March, 1907, and she's now 114 years of age. She's not living in her own home, but she does not live in a care home. She lives really in what I'd like to say, a family home, because she lives with one or two relatives of hers, which is very nice. Instead of which I think is just a wonderful way to live the latter of your life, especially if you're Phyllis's age, where if you can't live on your own home and you don't want to go into a nursing home or a care home, you could just live with one of your relatives who are happy enough or kind enough to take you into their homes and live with them like it's your home and becomes your family home in the latter of your life. And to have that family quality time, living in a family home in the very latter of your life, and certainly if you're well over the age of 100, I think it's just the most wonderful way and perfect way to live the latter of your life. I do from my heart very much mean what I've just said. Yes. I mean, Phyllis came over to England in around about the late 1920s, and where she met her future husband, Ernest Joseph Ridgway, and they subsequently got married in around about the early 1930s, remaining married for 54 years until Ernie sadly passed away. The couple had one son who I should think is now well into his 80s, I should think. I should think he's over 85 by now. Or I could be wrong, but I'm guessing he's over 85. And It's because her son's very much alive, and she has 4 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild being a great-great-grandson, who I should think is a very little toddler. Because, yeah, so she's impressively a great-great-grandmother, which is incredibly rare, as oneself could expect. But, you'd expect people to be great-great grandmothers or great-great-grandfathers to be like 115 years or 120 years older. Probably not so much 110 or 100 and something years older. Ooh, that's something, as you know. Oh dear. Oh, now, where was I next? Oh yes. And you wouldn't think she's her age, because at the time of her 113th birthday, I would have thought she was probably a very nice looking lady, and say maybe, I would have thought she was about 98, 99 instead of 113. I've sent the picture of her to many friends of mine, and even some of my family members, and they would have thought she was in her late 80s, in their opinions. And I was like, do you really think she's in her 80s instead of 113? And they're like, oh yes, I think so. She's got a very good head of hair, which is very true. She does have a very good head of hair. Well, many ladies well into their elderly years, they do generally tend to retain a head of hair. Some very good head of hair. I mean, like my grandmother Anne, for example. I mean, despite looking awful for a lady her age, she still has a head of hair. I mean, Edmund not so much, but who had his hair but was see-through on the scalp. That was my late grandfather, who just died last year, as many of you know. But Phyllis, yes, still good head of hair for a lady her age. And for 113 on her 113th birthday, I personally thought she looked about, I personally thought she looked about 93 instead of 113. But when she was, say, 107, she looked amazing. I thought she looked absolutely amazing. I would have thought when she was 107, because if you didn't know, those in Canada watching, she was met twice, in fact, by the prominent Canadian news lady over in Toronto, Susan Hay. She was met by her a couple of times. The first time Phyllis was met by Susan Hay was on her 107th birthday in 2014, and the second time she was met by Susan Hay was on her 113th birthday 6 years later in 2020. And if you didn't know, Phyllis Ridgway is a huge fan of Susan Hay, very much so, and both of whom really got on and actually loved each other like they were old friends. I mean, they both really were meant for friendship, really, instead of her just watching her all the time. They were really seeing their relationship together, as in terms of friendship. I could just see their friendship was just meant. It really was just meant. They were just meant to be friends. I could assure you, when I saw their relationship. But when she was, say, 107, I would have thought she looked about 80, 81, and if I didn't know how old she was, I would have thought, at 107, I would have thought she was about 85, any age in between 85 and 89 years of age, but no older than 89 when she was 107. But I think in the last 6 years, seeing her now, I think she's aged quite a lot. But still looks very good for her age. I mean, there are many centenarians who look far worse than she does, I'm afraid, but she looks very good for her age. but just not as good as what she looked like when she was, say, 107. In my opinions, of course, but you might think very differently. Yes. But thank you so much indeed for watching, everybody. I will show a few pictures of Phyllis Ridgway just before I end the video. And if you did see the pictures of Phyllis Ridgway, please let me know what your thoughts were on the pictures in the comments down below. And now, you know, every year, even once she's passed away, but I think she's got 115 in her sights, it would surprise me little if I found out she lived to see her 115th birthday. But it would surprise me greatly if she lived to see her 117th. It would surprise me a little bit if she lived to see her 116th birthday. But for her living to see her 117th birthday, it would surprise me greatly. But 115th, not in the slightest. But let's see, as time shall certainly tell on how much longer she'll go on for. Thanks so much indeed for watching, everybody. And I shall be showing the pictures just after I finish after the video has ended. Please let me know what your thoughts were in the comments down below, wherever you are in the world, and if you've seen it. Thanks so much indeed for watching, and I shall certainly see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody. From your friend Foxy. And if the Ridgway family is watching, or some of the grandchildren or relatives of Phyllis Ridgway, please let me know what you thought of the video if you did manage to watch it. Thank you indeed. Bye-bye, everybody. From your friend Foxy. Another time indeed. Another time. Oh.